My name is Tina Kleiber. I'm from Bread for the World, and I'm the gender consultant for the international program of Bread for the World. Bread for the World is based in Berlin. It's a German agency, Christian agency. Why are we having this meeting, this all-African gender consultancy here in Togo, Lomé? I think it's very important in order to advance women's rights and women's empowerment, that women have a chance to meet, that they can listen to each other, that they can tell their stories and share their experiences, because in society and politics, women are often left out.
As you can see from here, it's talking about 20 years after the Maputo Protocol. The Maputo Protocol is the protocol that is based on the Banjul Charter, which is the African, the AU Human Rights Charter. So they developed a Maputo Protocol because they realized that women are vulnerable, and therefore they need rights to protect them so that women can enjoy the equal rights that are in the Maputo Protocol.
So we invited Bread for the World partners and also partners of other networks, the side-by-side Faith Movement for Gender Justice, and also the Circle of Concerned African Women Theologians and other allies. And they are from all across sub-Saharan Africa.
My name is Buki Williams and I work for Akina Mama wa Africa. It's a Pan-African feminist leadership organization that works regionally on the continent, and we're working towards a dignified society for all African women, girls and gender expansive persons. For this conference, we're here really to have really necessary and important discussions with women who are working on gender justice from across the African continent, in recognition of the 20 years that the Maputo Protocol has been in existence, and to really, in many ways, look back at the work that has been done, the successes that we have had, but then also to review the challenges that we've had so far, and to see in what ways can we continue to collaborate and partners to advance progress and to really achieve the kind of Africa we want, where everyone is included, where everyone is seen, and where everyone can live a life of dignity.
Je m'appelle Louise Ndira-Nyibagira, je viens du Burundi et je travaille dans le Conseil national des églises du Burundi comme chargée de programmes, mais aussi le point focal pour l'aspect genre dans les églises. Nous sommes venus de plusieurs pays, mais toujours nous nous rencontrons sur un seul point, le genre et la femme. Comment est-ce que la femme est vue et traitée? Comment est-ce que la femme exerce ses droits dans sa communauté où elle vit? Quels sont les défis qu'elle rencontre? Et comment les textes légaux, dont le protocole de Maputo, maintenant est expérimenté par la femme aujourd'hui?
C'est Madame Rose Mumbere. Je viens de la République démocratique du Congo pour cette conférence panafricaine sur le genre. C'est pour renforcer nos capacités, pour que nous puissions être capables dans nos pays à faire comprendre tout le monde ce que c'est le genre.
We are here, on that to say all of us who are here work for women's organizations, work for making sure that these rights for women are sustained and that governments can be held. Because we believe that when a group is oppressed, the whole nation is oppressed, that the liberation of women is the liberation of the entire continent.
Le protocole renferme des articles qui devraient aussi guider la femme dans ses activités, dans ses revendications, dans tous les aspects de sa vie.
Ce que nous apprenons, c'est vraiment sur base de la Bible et sur base du protocole de Maputo que nous sommes en train d'apprendre. Et pour cela, pour que toute personne, que ce soit les hommes et les femmes, nous puissions comprendre la signification du genre.
As we look back on the 20 years of Maputo, we realize that there's a lot of more work to be done, right? So even though we had those gains, there's a critical work in maintaining those gains, because we are seeing the fact that a lot of countries are not investing as much, right? In the areas that really does affect gender justice, health, education, water and sanitation, roads, issues of conflict. We're still seeing issues around that, and we're seeing that governments are not financing, especially now as we're facing a debt crisis in our country. So it's really quite important to see an investment in that, so not just laws and policies, but also seeing commensurate money being invested in that.
Quand maintenant on vient au défi, ça devient maintenant un cercle vicieux où la femme est confrontée à différentes difficultés, dont la culture. Elle est née dans une culture qui ne donne pas place à la femme. Il y a aussi la religion, des fois basée sur la mauvaise interprétation des versets bibliques qui sont même utilisés pour continuer à opprimer la femme.
And it's so good for us to be here in Togo, because we know that this is the unfortunate history of the slave trade. That, you know, Africans were sold into slavery because they were dehumanized, they were told that they were inferior, and some people went as far as believing that the Bible teaches the inferiority of Africans. So we see the same thing as women, that there are some people who use the Bible to talk about the inferiority of women, and then women are excluded or they are victims of violence because of that. So we come here believing, just as, you know, the slaves that liberated themselves, that, you know, the Bible and God did not create anyone to be inferior, did not create anyone to be abused or to be violated. Every single human being is equal, has got equal dignity, and has a purpose to do something in this world for the good. So we cannot afford as Africans to have women not rising up to their full potential.
So it's been great to meet women from across all of the countries. And, you know, in many meetings, you also don't meet women who are coming from Francophone Africa and from Lusophone Africa as well. So it's really been beautiful and wonderful to be able to be in the same space with women from all of these countries, learning from each other, learning from the amazing successes that they've had and the work that they're doing. I'm also really excited because we're working across different areas. There's some who are working on conflict areas, there are ones who are pushing back against discrimination, there are ones who are working with faith communities, there are those who are working with young women, older women, and that diversity is so important for us to continue to learn from each other, because in many ways we've been working separately on the different issues, but we know that when you're talking about human rights, specifically about women's rights, they're all interconnected, they're all interlinked. You cannot separate them. Just because you're working on the right to health does not mean that the right to peace isn't critical or important. So it's really important to see those linkages. So it's been great meeting the different women, learning from the work that they're doing, taking ideas, and more important, building solidarity and getting strength, because this work can be very tiring. This work can be very hard. So getting strength from the work that other women are doing at different levels, and to be able to be inspired and motivated by that has been really wonderful.
Really, the main purpose for us is to have this space to have a baseline. What's been happening? What have women been doing? What kind of work has been successful? We have the Maputo Protocol, we have the 20-year anniversary, and what's happening to these rights? What about protection against violence? What about health and reproductive rights? Where could they have they been able to advance, and where do we need to have more work? So this is a moment where women from very different realities and countries see their common goal, see difficulties that they have in common, and they share solutions also. They share the strategies they are using to advance their rights. So that's important. And women on whatever level, they can only have their rights realized if they work together. That's on the community, on the local level, it's on the national level, and even more on the international level. Only if women work together and bring their concerns forward will they be heard.
Ensemble, nous pouvons comprendre, d'abord nous les femmes, comprendre ce que c'est le genre, parce que nous-mêmes, nous n'avons pas encore tous tout compris, mais aussi tous les hommes doivent comprendre pour qu'ensemble nous puissions évoluer et amener un changement positif dans notre pays, dans nos pays et surtout en Afrique.
Il y a quand même des réalisations positives qui ont été faites, par exemple dans mon pays, par exemple du Burundi, a vu que la femme, sans la femme, il n'y a pas de développement durable. C'est pourquoi il a promu des banques de la femme, comme ça pour les aider à s'autonomiser, donc en travaillant en coopérative.
What after this meeting, because we are here from different parts of Africa, we are here from different organizations. What we want is that we will meet together and then we can identify a theme or a couple of themes and say, let's work on this. Let's work on a theme. Let's say we decide we want to work on women's leadership. Then we can work on that together. But in this meeting, we want us in our learning and in our deliberation to come together with some themes that we can follow up. So we have a 100-day action plan. So after this, we've got 100 days to make sure that something happens. And so we've got an action plan, but it will be determined through the discussions that are happening in this room. We want women to participate in the building of the nations of this continent, because without women's voices, I think we really will not go very far. Because we need women, we need men, we need every single human being flourishing. So when we are doing these rights, it's not that we are just doing them for ourselves. We are saying when women rise, the whole of the continent rises with women.